No, I never really thought about that until some fans mentioned, oh, yeah, right, you're wrestling Sam off of Dean. And, but I didn't think about when we were shooting it, other than he didn't really help me a lot. It took a certain amount of work, and you know, I'm almost 33. I'm getting, you know, not as strong as I once was. But yeah, he's a big boy. You know, the wrestling in off of Dean it wasn't nearly as hard as it was just getting ready to shoot the scene where right before they say action, because I'm standing there holding him. I know nobody here would like to do this, but I got my hands all over his pecs. We're just standing there, and they're adjusting the lights. Guys, could we do this? And well, the long story short is that we're engaged. This is all going to come back to bite me. Yeah, so I was never so glad to hear the word action in my life. So, yeah, who's next?
Hi.
Hi.
I was wondering if you prefer to play characters that are more similar to your personality or very different, and if you can tell us something about Bobby's Chevelle.
Okay. Bobby Chevelle is pretty cool. I wish it had a better paint job. And I really wish it had a better shift lever, because I'm always having to drive up and throw it into park, and they've got this custom cool shift lever handle, and every time I throw it in park, I smash my knuckles on the dashboard. And it doesn't always want to go into park. So I'm driving up and back to one. The bucket seats are made from real buckets. Yeah, it's not as cool as the Impala. It's not. Episode 6. Bobby drives the Impala. That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. And Dean, I think, forgives me, considering the circumstances. Let me tell you what happens as far as preferring to play characters like myself or not, I don't care. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Bobby, I guess, is kind of like me. I'm not a smart aleck or anything like that. You are. But I think most actors like to play a wide variety of stuff. There's some stuff that's some characters that are very different from me that I don't necessarily like to play because I can't figure out how to get into their head. There's something about them that doesn't relate to me, and I've been in on auditions where I've told the casting people, you know, I'd love to do the job, but there's bound to be somebody else who's better for this than I am. That's really stupid of me, isn't it? But as a general rule, I'm up for just about anything anybody wants to let me try. Harper's Island has been kind of interesting because it's very different from Bobby. Much more internalized and a guy who doesn't say very much at all about what he thinks or feels. And of course he's got some secrets, which I have to keep. But you know, it's all acting. We're just putting on silly clothes and acting like somebody else. So it's all fun.
Right over here, Jim.
It's actually kind of a continuation of what she was saying. Do you find it easier to get into character with a period show like Deadwood, or something that's more modern day, like Supernatural, but kind of not? I mean, you have Supernatural, which you could almost say it's modern day, but it's certainly not anything that all of us are experiencing on a daily basis. But then you have something like Deadwood, which is far in the past, but you're getting into character, I guess, in a way more with set and costuming and everything.
That's a good question. Deadwood was such a specific and unique experience. Judas Priest, I loved doing that show. That was. It's funny because kind of addressing what you said. It's that character. Well, he kind of grew to be like me over the course of things. But he didn't start out to be much like me, and yet I've always thought that was the single character I've ever played that I was born to play. I'm starting to feel that way about Bobby too, but I knew from the day I saw the audition material for Deadwood that okay, this one's the one I'm right for. Period or modern, that doesn't make a lot of difference. It has more to do with the quality of the writing. It has to do with the nature of the character more than where he is or when he is. So I'm pretty easy. I mean, I'm kind of an old timer. I love doing westerns. I'd really love to do something set in the 40s. Partly because those are the kinds of films and stories that I grew up loving, and I wish everybody still wore suits and hats, and because it's kind of cool. I like dressing up. I mean, in a nice way. You guys bored to death?
Hi, Bobby.
Hi.
Congratulations, by the way, on you and Jerry. We don't expect web invitations.
We are registered at Home Depot.
Good job. My question is, what was the most chaotic episode to film? Like with you, Jerry, and Jinzy, what was the most chaotic one?
The most chaotic episode to film. Well, it's always chaotic when there's either a lot of characters in a scene or a lot of special effects. There are two that kind of stand out in my mind. One was the episode that was just on Thursday night, the whole sequence where I was preparing the spell while Sam and Dean fought off all the people coming through the various doorways. Considering that not only were we being attacked from all sides and the windows were blowing in and stuff was flying around and people were shooting shotguns, people had to disappear, and which meant it was not just a crowded scene with a lot of people, but it was a crowded scene with a lot of people with big special effects, and it was really kind of hard to shoot, and it took us a couple of days to shoot that scene, and And it was very similar to the scene, the